there are now rising risks of a potential attack inside the United States. Yes, that means on U.S. soil. And we have American intel that is detailing these risks and who is involved and why we should be concerned with this one group. Because now we are being told that this is just the beginning. And I've been saying this for months, that all these different conflicts and these tensions around the world are going to pull us in eventually. And now it looks like it's happened. So I'm going to break down what's going on, how this is going to impact all of us moving forward, and what this means just over this next year. Because again, we have a presidential election that's just right around the corner. So I'm going to address all this in today's video. All I ask is one thing, takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So an attack on U.S. soil, that's nothing new. We've heard that time and time again. But this is turning into a different story because now it is concerning a different party. Look at this right here. It says American intel officials warn of risk of Hezbollah attacking the United States. Hezbollah is an Iranian-backed group. Hezbollah is connected with Hamas, is connected with the Houthis out of Yemen. Well, guess what? The United States is being pulled in because we are potentially going to send additional funding to Israel. That funding to Israel is going to hurt Hamas, who they are attacking in Gaza. If we keep sending our U.S. military, our Navy up and down the Red Sea, guess who it hurts? The Yemen Houthis, another Iranian-backed group. So of course, Hezbollah now wants to step in. Now I want to read you a little bit from this article. Okay, this just came out today. Look at this. It says, U.S. officials assess that there's a rising risk of Lebanese Hezbollah militants will strike Americans in the Middle East and even potentially hit inside the United States. 4 officials familiar with the intelligence told Politico. It goes on to say the Iran-backed militant group would likely target U.S. personnel in the Middle East first. Then, and U.S. intelligence agencies are gathering data on Hezbollah that suggests it could be considering attacks on both U.S. troops or diplomatic personnel overseas, 2 of the officials have said. Says the chance for an assault on U.S. soil is also growing as tensions in the region escalate. And then they say Hezbollah could draw on the capability they have to put people in places to do something. I want to touch on that for a moment. We have seen this over the past few years. The concern from the Pentagon is that people have already been placed here in the United States. Okay? Pretty much sleeper cells are being formed. If this is happening, which we anticipate it already has, if this is happening, it puts more pressure on the United States. It means we need to ramp up security, but as of right now, it's almost impossible to do. It goes on and reads, one of the officials said, referring to a potential attack on the U.S., it is something to be worried about. The official, like others in this story, was granted an anonymity to talk freely about sensitive intelligence. It goes on to say, officials declined to detail the specific kind of attacks Hezbollah could take, but said that the Iranian-backed group has capabilities that other terrorist groups in the region do not. Individuals inspired by the Islamic State or Al-Qaeda, but who are not directly connected to the membership of those terrorist groups, have carried out lone wolf attacks in the U.S. and Europe, officials said. But Hezbollah has the expansive international network that would allow the group to use its operatives to carry out an attack in the United States. Okay, let's go on and read this very last part right here. It goes on to say, either scenario, an attack domestically or on troops or diplomats overseas would deal a blow to the Biden administration, which has worked to prevent the Israel-Hamas conflict from broadening into a wider regional war and to keep American forces out of the fray. It would also likely draw Washington back into the Middle East at a time when it is trying to focus its national security resources on countering China and Russia, but also shoring up the U.S. border. Okay? Now, there's also one other thing, and it has to do with the Red Sea. That is this: because the United States and our allies are weighing different options of how to shut down the Houthi attacks in the Red Sea, they are now considering different military measures. So that is what is concerning there. Because if we do attack the Yemen Houthis, because of what's going on in the Red Sea, this puts more pressure on the United States and our allies. And it's putting pressure from these Iranian-backed militants, like the Houthis, like Hamas, and Hezbollah. I've said this for the past few months, that if this war between Israel and Hamas doesn't end quickly, there's an increased chance that the United States gets pulled into this conflict and this turns into a wider war. Potentially, this could turn into a world war, because right now we have issues with Russia because we are trying to fund Ukraine. We have issues with China because China wants to reunify Taiwan with mainland China, and the United States says, no, we cannot allow that. So that would put us into a conflict with China. And then we are now having additional issues with Iran. This would turn into a massive world war that, as of right now, the United States does not have the ability to successfully win a war at the same time, okay, as China, Iran, and Russia all potentially attack us. That would be devastation. Now, here's what I can tell you moving forward. The Biden administration cannot allow an attack on U.S. soil and cannot allow us to go into a war, whether it's in the Middle East or anywhere else. They have to do whatever they can to prevent these things. So number one, can President Biden come out and attack the Yemen Houthis? Can he do that without a just cause? No, he can't. Which is one of the reasons why the Biden administration is continuing to wait. But this is where Pentagon officials have said that President Biden screwed up. Because if he would have attacked the Yemen Houthis in the beginning and showed his hand and said, no, you are not going to attack us, and we will make sure that never happens again, then it would have been done. We would have been through this mess already. They wouldn't be attacking shipping vessels through the Red Sea. Hezbollah wouldn't be looking at the United States as a threat, and Hamas would probably be out of Gaza. These are all things that if the United States would have stepped up in the beginning, when the Pentagon officials told President Biden to do more, then things probably would be better at this moment. But as of right now, this is the hand that we've been dealt. So, what does this mean moving forward? Well, be prepared. Be prepared to see an attack on U.S. troops abroad. Don't expect the attack here in the United States first. The attack will most likely, according to experts, will be abroad. Then, if that attack doesn't see much of a response from the Biden administration, that is when these other countries will look at the United States and, just our homeland as the next target. So, as of right now, we don't know what to expect. Just understand the risks are higher than they have ever been. So, that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise, I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. But that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.